The story opens with a catastrophic scene on Zetheria 9, a harsh and unforgiving planet far from human colonies. The sky is a volatile mix of green and gold, the colors of radiation mixing with the energy discharged by the planet's unstable atmosphere. The ground is cracked and uneven, with jagged rocks jutting out like teeth, and every gust of wind carries radioactive particles that sizzle against exposed surfaces. The planet itself seems alive with hostility, and it's clear that surviving even a short walk across its plains requires courage, preparation, and sheer grit. Captain Jaren Holt and his squad are caught in the midst of this chaos. Humans have come to Zetheria 9 to scout strategic locations and research alien artifacts that could be useful in the ongoing war against the Varathi, a predatory alien race threatening the galaxy. The moment opens with tension immediately as Jaren's team struggles against the fierce radioactive storm, visibility near zero, and their protective suits straining against the constant exposure. Each step is perilous. One misstep could mean falling into a fissure or being exposed to deadly radiation. The storm itself is almost sentient in its intensity. Lightning strikes in impossible patterns, arcs of energy crackling through the air, sometimes narrowly missing the soldiers. The scene establishes immediate stakes. Death is not just likely, it is imminent. Amid the chaos, Jaren notices a lone figure staggering ahead. She is a woman, weakened, disoriented, and almost invisible against the harsh backdrop of the storm. There is an instinctive human reaction that drives him forward. Despite the danger to himself, he cannot leave her to die. Jaren's decision to act is instantaneous, a hallmark of human courage under pressure. He strips his heavy cloak from his shoulders, ignoring the searing pain as radiation arcs across the fabric and his armor. He wraps it around her body, shielding her from the storm's full fury. The act is both heroic and selfless. In that moment, the story underscores a central HFY theme. Humans prioritize life and morality, even when logic dictates self-preservation. The woman, unconscious and fragile, is the first hint of complexity to come. The narrative plants seeds for a future revelation. She is no ordinary victim. Jaren's interaction with her is purely instinctual, uncolored by knowledge of her royal status. This detail will later amplify the impact of human bravery and humility. He saves not because she is a princess, but because he is human, compassionate, and decisive. As the storm intensifies, the narrative heightens the sensory immersion. Lightning scorches nearby rocks, producing showers of sparks. The radioactive winds whip sand and debris, tearing at armor, hair, and clothing. Jaren struggles to drag the woman to a temporary shelter, a half-collapsed alien structure. Its origins are mysterious, left from some long-dead civilization, but it offers momentary safety from the storm's deadly onslaught. The description of the shelter emphasizes human adaptability. Even amidst alien ruins, humans make use of what they find, turning dangerous landscapes into tactical advantages. Once inside the ruins, the story slows briefly to highlight the contrast between the storm's violence and the temporary safety they've found. Here, Jaren can assess the woman's condition, tend to minor injuries, and try to communicate. His concern is tangible. His humanity is defined by his actions, not by recognition or reward. The moment also sets the tone for the partnership to come. While she remains weak and mostly silent, her survival depends entirely on Jaren's courage, foresight, and ability to navigate the storm. The storm itself serves as both literal and symbolic conflict. It is an external threat, challenging human survival, and it foreshadows the greater dangers that lie ahead. Varathi patrols, deadly battles, and cosmic-level warfare. By starting the story in this way, the narrative immediately conveys tension, danger, and high stakes, creating a gripping opening that hooks the audience. Finally, Part 1 establishes a foundation for HFY storytelling. Jaren's instinct to risk his life to protect someone weaker is not just an action, it is a statement about humanity. Even in the face of overwhelming environmental and extraterrestrial danger, humans act with courage, empathy, and moral clarity. The scene is not simply survival-focused. It is character-focused. Jaren's bravery, his quick thinking, and his willingness to put others before himself define the heroism that will carry the story forward. In conclusion, the opening of the story balances extreme danger with immediate human response, showcasing bravery, selflessness, and resourcefulness. The radioactive storm is more than a backdrop. It is a crucible that tests human limits, highlights instinctive heroism, and introduces the mysterious figure who will become central to the unfolding adventure. By the end of Part 1, readers are fully immersed in the hostile environment, emotionally invested in the characters, and primed for the escalating conflicts that lie ahead. After surviving the violent radioactive storm on Cytheria 9, Jaren Holt and the mysterious woman take shelter in the alien ruins. The immediate danger of the storm has passed, but a far more ominous threat looms. The galaxy itself is under siege by the Vorathi. Part 2 shifts the story from environmental danger to a broader interstellar conflict, highlighting humanity's role in a war that could decide the fate of entire civilizations. Inside the crumbling structure, Jaren assesses the woman's condition. Her breathing is shallow, and her body is covered in bruises and burns from the storm. He realizes she is not just another stranded civilian. She possesses an aura of dignity and training. As he tends to her injuries, she begins to speak, though cautiously. Through broken words, she reveals fragments of her identity. She is fleeing from a planet overrun by a ruthless alien species. The mention of a conquered world sparks Jaren's realization that the Vorathi's reach extends far beyond Cytheria 9. Their war has spread like a shadow across multiple systems, leaving death and enslavement in its wake. This revelation raises the stakes dramatically. Humanity is not just fighting for survival on a single planet. They are participants in a galaxy-wide struggle against an enemy that is technologically advanced, relentless, and merciless. Yet even in the face of such overwhelming odds, Jaren demonstrates one of the core elements of HFY storytelling: human resilience and ingenuity. He begins scanning the ruins with a portable sensor, identifying weak points in the structure where radiation levels are lower, areas that could be defended if an attack occurs. His mind works methodically, analyzing resources, calculating risks, and prioritizing the survival of the woman he rescued. The narrative expands to show the broader human struggle. Jaren recalls the fragile alliances humans have forged with other alien species to resist the Vorathi advance. Some alien allies are brilliant tacticians, others are fierce warriors, but all have one thing in common: they do not possess humanity's adaptability and willingness to improvise under pressure. This moment emphasizes a recurring HFY theme. Humans are defined not by superior technology alone, but by courage, creativity, and moral conviction. Even when outnumbered or outgunned, humans find solutions that defy logic or expectations. Jaren's immediate challenge is practical. He must keep the woman alive while navigating a planet that is both physically hostile and politically complicated. He scavenges supplies from the ruins, antiseptic gel, energy rations, and portable shields to create a temporary safe zone. Every action demonstrates human resourcefulness. He constructs makeshift barriers using fragments of alien walls and sets up rudimentary radiation dampeners, transforming a decayed ruin into a functional, if temporary, sanctuary. The woman begins to regain strength, though she remains silent about her true identity. Through their interactions, Part 2 subtly explores the theme of human compassion and trust. Jaren does not ask for her rank, her title, or her political weight. He acts purely from instinct and morality. This not only highlights his personal courage, but also positions humanity itself as capable of empathy even in the harshest circumstances. As the storm outside fades completely, Jaren becomes aware of distant seismic tremors and strange energy readings, preliminary signs of approaching Vorathi scouts. The ruins are not just a shelter. They are a potential trap. Part 2 transitions into rising tension as humans prepare to face these scouts, blending strategy with improvisation. Jaren's thought process is rapid. He considers the layout, possible escape routes, and environmental advantages. He sets improvised traps using debris and radiation emitters, a combination of ingenuity and daring that exemplifies human adaptability. Meanwhile, the woman observes quietly, her curiosity piqued. Though weakened, she begins to recognize the skill and courage of the human who saved her. A subtle emotional connection forms, foreshadowing the partnership that will become critical in later battles. Her respect for humanity grows even as the larger conflict threatens to overwhelm them. The section closes by zooming out to the larger galaxy. Communications from human colonies indicate a growing pattern of Varathi attacks, planet after planet falling, fleets being destroyed, civilizations on the brink. The narrative emphasizes that while humanity may be small compared to the Varathi Empire, their determination and ingenuity allow them to punch far above their weight. The storm on Cytheria 9 was only the beginning. The real war is vast, interstellar, and deadly. Yet humans continue to fight, not for glory, but for survival for each other, and for the hope that even the smallest spark of courage can ignite a galaxy-wide resistance. Part 3 propels the story into the first major confrontation with the Varathi, turning the narrative from survival and strategy into raw, high-stakes combat. By this point, Jaren Holt has established a fragile sanctuary with the rescued woman, but the faint calm of the storm-ravaged plains is shattered by the unmistakable hum of alien engines overhead. The Varathi do not give warnings. Their approach is silent yet deadly, a hallmark of their predatory nature. This section emphasizes both human courage and ingenuity as Jaren and his squad face an enemy that seems unstoppable. The Varathi scouts arrive in waves. Unlike conventional spacecraft, their vessels are semi-organic, seemingly alive, with surfaces that ripple and pulse with alien energy. The initial drones descend like locusts, landing in twisted formations, their claws slicing through metal and rock alike. Jaren's squad, though outnumbered, reacts instantly, deploying portable energy shields and plasma rifles. The description of the battlefield is cinematic. Green and violet energy beams crisscross the plains. Dust and radioactive particles swirl in storm remnants, and explosions send jagged fragments of rock into the air. Every move requires precision, coordination, and split-second decision-making. Jaren, always at the forefront, exemplifies HFY heroism. He spots a Varathi drone preparing to strike the woman he protected and instinctively throws himself in its path. The drone's claws tear through his armor, sending sparks flying, but he shields her with his body. This moment is critical. It demonstrates human instinctive valor. While most beings might calculate risks, Jaren acts without hesitation, prioritizing life over personal safety. The reader immediately understands that human bravery is not theoretical. It is a tangible, defining trait, capable of altering the course of a battle. The squad engages in rapid, adaptive tactics. They set up improvised traps using debris from the storm and alien ruins, razor-sharp rocks as caltrops, energy emitters repurposed as pulse mines, and smoke generators to obscure Varathi targeting sensors. These improvisations highlight human ingenuity. While the Varathi rely on sheer numbers and superior technology, humans compensate with creativity and strategic thinking. Every action is dynamic, emphasizing speed and resourcefulness over brute force alone. The battle is not merely physical, it is psychological. The Varathi emit terrifying screeches, an alien language designed to disorient prey, testing human resolve. Some squad members falter, but Jaren rallies them with concise commands, leveraging human teamwork and trust. The narrative emphasizes human adaptability under pressure. When drones swarm from multiple directions, the squad splits into coordinated units, using terrain and their knowledge of the ruins to create kill zones. Even the smallest actions, a well-timed grenade, a precise plasma shot, can turn the tide. Amid the chaos, the woman begins to display latent strategic instincts. Though injured and exhausted, she observes Varathi patterns and gestures to weak points in their formation. Jaren integrates her insights into the squad's tactics. This collaboration underscores a core HFY theme. Humans thrive not only through individual heroism, but also through cooperation and the ability to learn quickly, even from others who may initially seem alien or unknown. The battle escalates to a critical point when a massive Varathi drone, larger and more heavily armored than the rest, descends on their position. The squad's energy shields falter under repeated strikes. Jaren makes a daring decision. He directs the squad to retreat to higher ground while he lures the giant drone into a trap of reactive energy conduits embedded in the ruins. Using both intuition and technical knowledge, he manipulates the alien technology to create an explosive feedback, disabling the drone in a brilliant flash of light. This act combines human courage, ingenuity, and adaptability, a recurring theme in the story. Throughout the battle, the narrative maintains relentless pacing. There is no downtime. The action flows continuously, with sensory-rich descriptions of plasma discharges, energy beams cracking the ground, debris scattering in explosions, and the constant looming threat of death. Jaren's leadership is central. His ability to assess rapidly changing conditions, make instinctive decisions, and protect the vulnerable exemplifies the core HFY principle that humanity can prevail through ingenuity, courage, and moral clarity. By the end of Part 3, the battlefield is littered with defeated Varathi drones, but the victory is bittersweet. Jaren and his squad are battered, the woman is shaken, and the faint hum of approaching reinforcements reminds readers that this is only the beginning. Yet, the narrative leaves a strong impression. Even when outnumbered and outgunned, human courage, adaptability, and teamwork enable survival against seemingly insurmountable odds. This sets the stage for the next phase: spaceflight, pursuit, and the high-speed maneuvers that will define Part 4. After surviving the brutal confrontation on Zytheria 9, Jaren Holt and the rescued woman, still weak but now more alert, board the Ardent Resolve, a heavily retrofitted human frigate designed for speed, agility, and survival in hostile space. Part 4 shifts the story from planetary combat to interstellar pursuit, escalating the tension and emphasizing human ingenuity, courage, and adaptability on a galactic scale. This segment demonstrates HFY storytelling by placing humans in situations where their resourcefulness and daring define the outcome, rather than brute technological might. The opening of Part 4 is immediate and intense. Sensors aboard the frigate pick up multiple Varathi scouts approaching at high velocity. Unlike traditional spacecraft, these vessels appear almost alive, with pulsating, semi-organic hulls that adjust to attacks, repair themselves, and coordinate with precision. The Varathi are relentless. Their swarm-like tactics force humans into constant maneuvering. The chase begins in a dense asteroid field, with massive, jagged rocks looming like jagged teeth. Every movement requires split-second calculations. Too slow, and the ship is obliterated. Too fast, and it crashes into debris. Jaren's hands fly over the controls, his mind a blur of angles, velocities, and trajectories. This is not just a chase. It is a test of human nerve and precision. As they navigate the asteroid maze, Varathi fire streaks across space. Energy beams tear into the frigate's shields, sending shockwaves through the hull. Warning alarms blare, lights flicker, and the entire crew is on edge. Yet humans display their trademark ingenuity. Jaren uses gravitational pulls from small asteroids to slingshot the frigate, evading multiple missiles in moments when conventional maneuvers would fail. This tactic demonstrates the quintessential HFY idea. Humans leverage their understanding of physics and unconventional thinking to overcome seemingly superior enemies. Meanwhile, the rescued woman begins to reveal her own tactical acumen. Though injured on the planet, she has military experience as a member of a royal lineage. She advises Jaren on Varathi attack patterns, pointing out likely blind spots and weak points in their formations. At first hesitant, Jaren quickly integrates her insights into his maneuvers. Together, human instinct and royal strategic knowledge form a synergy that outsmarts the alien pursuers. This moment reinforces the story's theme that humans thrive through adaptability and collaboration, even when interfacing with vastly different species and knowledge systems. The tension escalates as the chase moves closer to the Varathi homeworld. The frigate takes damage, minor hull breaches, energy conduit failures, and shield fluctuations, but the human crew refuses to yield. Every system is pushed to its limits. Jaren personally overrides automated weapon systems, firing the ship's plasma cannons manually at the Varathi cruisers. His actions are desperate, daring, and precise. A massive cruiser explodes in a spectacular fireball, molten debris scattering into space. The moment highlights a central HFY principle. Courage, ingenuity, and decisiveness allow humans to challenge even technologically superior foes. The narrative emphasizes the physical and psychological strain on the crew. They are exhausted, adrenaline surging, constantly calculating risks. The rescued woman assists with navigation, coordinating timing for evasive maneuvers. In the heat of battle, her trust in humans grows, reinforcing the emotional connection between Jaren and her, a dynamic born not of status or title, but of mutual reliance and respect under extreme circumstances. Part 4 also explores human problem-solving in extreme conditions. When a Varathi drone attempts a boarding maneuver, Jaren improvises by using the ship's tractor beams and environmental controls to hurl debris at the alien boarding pods, preventing them from docking. The humans combine creativity, quick thinking, and willingness to take bold risks to survive. The story emphasizes that their strength lies not in overwhelming numbers, but in their ability to exploit the environment, anticipate enemy behavior, and act decisively under pressure. As the chase concludes, the ardent resolve narrowly escapes immediate destruction, but is heavily damaged. The crew assesses their condition, makes emergency repairs, and prepares for the next stage, infiltrating the Varathi homeworld itself. The battle through space cements the humans' reputation as audacious, adaptive, and unyielding. Their survival depends on courage, intellect, and an unbreakable will, a combination that even the Varathi cannot fully predict or counter. Part 5 thrusts Jaren Holt, the rescued princess, and their human crew into the heart of enemy territory, the Varathi homeworld. By this stage, the narrative has escalated from environmental danger to interstellar pursuit, and now to direct confrontation with the alien empire itself. The stakes could not be higher. Failure here means not only death for the crew, but the annihilation of entire colonies. This segment emphasizes human courage, strategic adaptability, and moral resolve, hallmarks of HFY storytelling. The Varathi homeworld is a nightmarish landscape, dominated by jagged black spires that pulse with malevolent energy. The surface is scorched, barren, and crawling with Varathi patrols. The moment the humans drop from hyperspace, the scale of the enemy becomes apparent. Massive cruisers orbit the planet, defense turrets bristle on every tower, and swarms of drones patrol the skies. The atmosphere itself seems hostile, thick with charged particles that interfere with sensors and communications. Human technology is pushed to its limits, and survival depends on ingenuity as much as courage. Jaren immediately organizes a tactical plan. The humans cannot rely on brute force alone. The Varathi vastly outnumber them and control the terrain. He uses the ship's cloaking and stealth systems, combined with the princess's knowledge of Varathi patrol behavior, to slip through heavily guarded zones. This marks a critical aspect of Part 5. Humans excel not because they are stronger, but because they adapt, improvise, and turn intelligence and creativity into lethal advantages. The first encounter comes quickly. Varathi warriors ambush the humans near a supply hub, their claws and energy weapons overwhelming. Jaren leads a counterattack, using plasma rifles, improvised explosives, and environmental traps. Rocks are rigged to explode with charged energy, pillars collapse to block enemy pathways, and even minor terrain anomalies are exploited. Every move is deliberate yet high speed, reflecting a continuous surge of action and pressure. The humans fight not just with weapons, but with wits, exploiting enemy weaknesses and using the Varathi's own aggression against them. The rescued princess, revealed now as Princess Elira, takes an active role. Despite her injuries, she coordinates small squads, using her royal military training to direct human movements, anticipate Varathi ambushes, and identify weak points in alien defenses. This partnership underscores a crucial HFY theme. Humans thrive through collaboration, ingenuity, and the ability to learn quickly, even under extreme pressure. Elira's presence transforms the battle from a desperate struggle to a coordinated assault, highlighting how courage and intelligence together multiply effectiveness. The narrative reaches a climax with the arrival of the Varathi overlord, a towering, biomechanical monstrosity with impenetrable armor and devastating firepower. Its appearance shifts the battle from tactical skirmish to life-or-death showdown. Jaren's squad is initially paralyzed by its sheer size and energy output, but their response is immediate. Using a combination of speed, misdirection, and environmental hazards, Jaren devises a plan to lure the Overlord into a trap. Energy conduits, previously overlooked and unstable, are rigged to overload under pressure. This scenario demonstrates human courage and risk-taking. Success demands precise timing, unwavering focus, and the willingness to put themselves in direct danger to achieve victory. In the ensuing confrontation, Jaren personally draws the Overlord's attention, dodging lethal attacks while maneuvering it toward the trap. Explosions rock the battlefield, debris flies through the air, and the humans are pushed to the brink of exhaustion. The scene is chaotic, cinematic, and relentless, emphasizing the raw intensity of human bravery under overwhelming odds. The Overlord's fall, triggered by the overloaded energy conduits, is a combination of human ingenuity, fearlessness, and strategic thinking, highlighting a recurring HFY principle. Humans overcome superior foes not through brute force alone, but through intelligence, audacity, and moral resolve. Even as the Overlord falls, the narrative stresses the cost of heroism. The crew is battered, the environment is unstable, and radiation leaks threaten to engulf the battlefield. Yet humans persevere, rescuing allies and consolidating their position. Elira and Jaren's bond strengthens, rooted in shared survival and mutual respect. The victory is both physical and symbolic. Humans have struck a decisive blow against the Vorathi, proving that courage, ingenuity, and moral clarity allow a relatively small species to challenge a seemingly invincible empire. Part 5 closes by showing the immediate aftermath. Vorathi forces are in retreat, communications across the galaxy signal hope, and humans begin securing captured territories. The climax does not merely celebrate brute victory, it emphasizes sacrifice, collaboration, and the triumph of the human spirit. Readers are left with the impression that humanity's strength lies not in technology alone, but in creativity, courage, and an unyielding commitment to survival and justice. In summary, Part 5 delivers a high-octane cinematic showdown. Humans face overwhelming odds, employ tactical brilliance, demonstrate personal heroism, and achieve a climactic victory that redefines the balance of power in the galaxy. The battle combines strategy, improvisation, and emotional resonance, cementing humanity's place as a resilient and formidable force in the story's universe. Part 6 brings the story to its emotional and strategic conclusion, following the climactic showdown on the Vorathi homeworld. The battle has ended, but the aftermath is as complex and dangerous as the fight itself. Jaren Holt, Princess Elira, and their human crew must navigate the consequences of victory while solidifying the foundation for a future where humanity asserts its strength across the galaxy. This segment emphasizes HFY themes: courage, ingenuity, moral clarity, and the enduring resilience of human beings. The immediate scene opens with the battlefield smoldering. Jagged black spires on the Vorathi homeworld are toppled or cracked, energy conduits overload, and smoke rises in thick plumes. Debris litters the ground and scattered Vorathi forces retreat into the shadows. The humans, though victorious, are battered, exhausted, and partially injured. Part 6 highlights that heroism is never without cost. Victory demands sacrifice, stamina, and relentless determination. Unlike the Vorathi, whose strength lies in brute force and instinct, humanity's advantage is mental and emotional. They survive because they can adapt, anticipate, and persist even when outmatched. As the crew regroups, Elira fully reveals her identity to Jaren. The moment is poignant, emphasizing emotional depth rather than political power. She is a princess, heir to a fallen empire, yet the title carries little weight in the context of survival and shared struggle. Jaren's reaction is emblematic of HFY ideals. He does not elevate her because of rank. He values courage, life, and moral integrity. This interaction reinforces the narrative's central message. Human worth is measured by actions and character rather than titles or privilege. Elira's gratitude is profound but grounded, demonstrating respect and admiration for human courage. Strategically, the humans begin consolidating their victory. They salvage alien technology, repair their ship, and establish communication channels with allied colonies. Part 6 emphasizes human ingenuity. Even in the aftermath of near-total destruction, they repurpose the environment and enemy technology to strengthen their position. This adaptability underscores a recurring HFY principle. Humans survive and thrive by thinking creatively under pressure, turning adversity into opportunity. The narrative describes rapid assessments, repairs to shielding systems, and tactical adjustments, showing that victory is not static, but requires constant vigilance and proactive intelligence. Meanwhile, the story expands to the galactic stage. News of the Vorathi setback spreads across human and allied colonies. Previously isolated settlements begin to rebuild, inspired by the courage of a small group of humans who dared to challenge the enemy's strongest forces. The narrative conveys that human influence grows not through sheer numbers, but through audacity, innovation, and the willingness to fight for others. This elevates the HFY theme from personal heroism to collective resilience, illustrating how individual bravery ripples across civilizations. Emotionally, Part 6 deepens the bond between Jaren and Elira. Their relationship evolves from one of instinctive protection into a mutual understanding rooted in shared trials. Elira's confidence in humanity solidifies, while Jaren recognizes the importance of trust, leadership, and collaboration. The story demonstrates that emotional intelligence, empathy, and loyalty are as crucial to human survival as physical prowess or tactical skill. This dual focus, strategic and emotional, makes the resolution satisfying and layered, highlighting human complexity. The narrative also emphasizes the lasting consequences of heroism. Jaren declines Elira's offer to serve as a royal advisor, instead choosing to continue defending the vulnerable across the galaxy. This decision reinforces a core HFY ideal. Heroism is a duty, not a reward. Humans act from principle and compassion rather than seeking recognition or power. Their efforts inspire others to act similarly, creating a cultural ripple effect that strengthens interstellar alliances and morale. Finally, Part 6 reflects on humanity's enduring resilience. The radioactive storms of Zetheria 9, the relentless Vorathi pursuit, and the climactic battle on their homeworld serve as a metaphor for the constant pressures humans face. Through courage, ingenuity, and moral clarity, humans transform adversity into triumph. The galaxy now recognizes not just their technological capabilities, but their audacity, strategic mind, and unyielding spirit. The story closes on a note of hope and enduring strength. Humans may be physically small, numerically limited, and far from invincible, but their adaptability, determination, and capacity for selfless action make them a force capable of shaping the stars themselves. In conclusion, Part 6 provides a satisfying resolution by combining strategic consolidation, emotional closure, and a vision of humanity's long-term impact. The aftermath of battle demonstrates that heroism is ongoing, that courage inspires collective action, and that resilience is as much about the mind and heart as it is about strength. The story leaves readers with a lasting impression of humanity as inventive, courageous, morally grounded, and capable of influencing the galaxy in profound ways, an enduring HFY statement of human potential and legacy.